next steps to be better individuals collectively,
Right.
and what we need to learn from our journey in life.
That's right. That's right. And I appreciate you being on here with me because that's what it's all about. Today's episode, today's title here, I'm going to share that with everybody. The title for today is How We Became Our Birth. We know that it has to start somewhere. And you can't get to square two, three, and four till you start at square one. And one is that birth. It is the beginning. It's where it all starts. And so the title again is How We Became Our Birth, to begin our journey towards our purpose. And I'm putting emphasis on our purpose because that speaks volume to me, that we must find in our lifetime, understanding the lessons of our past, present, and future that help to shape us, move us, grow us, groom us, all the things that we need in life. You can't get around it. If you think you can get around it, then you just don't exist. You just a walking zombie. That's why I look at it. If you don't think that you need a purpose here, you pretty much so just you stop. You sitting still. You sitting still in time. So we're going to talk about this a little bit more, and I'm going to start out talking about me as far as the birth. Now I'll tell you right now, I don't remember a whole lot when I was born. I don't remember anything, absolutely nothing. One of the things I remember is that my parents are from Louisiana. That's where I was born, and I remember when we moved to Texas, and I applaud my parents for making that step, making that leap to come from where they were to step out on their journey and find themselves in life. Because a lot of people back in that day and time, they would get into a comfortable zone and become complacent and let wherever life take them, that's where they would go. They didn't reach out. They didn't step outside their backyard to see if there's something better out there for them. And my parents did that. They moved to Texas, and I'm the oldest of 7. And I explained that too as part of this birth. And I do remember we used to ride the bus. My mom rode the bus, and I always used to love to ring that bell. And I could barely reach the bell, but I had to get that bell. I just had to make that noise before we got off the bus. So that's one thing I remember as a little one, ringing that bell. But one of the things I want to share here is that even though I don't remember a lot about my birth and the baby years, I do remember growing up, and I remember my mom telling me this: I'm so glad that God gave you to me as my firstborn. I didn't get that then. Okay. As a kid, you don't get that. Like, what does she mean by that? Okay. Well, I guess she's stroking me. So it makes it feel good. I'm the firstborn, I'm the oldest, I'm running things. So that's the label I took. Okay. I'm the firstborn, I'm running things. And I took that to heart, and I just smiled. And I was so proud of that title that she gave me. To me, it was a badge of honor for many, many years. But as kids, we have no clue about a purpose for life. We have no clue. We don't know. We just kids seeking, searching, learning, and everything else that goes with being a youngster. We're just being kids. But I realized, I said, I'm so busy being the oldest and taking on so much ownership here. I'm not getting a chance to be a kid. I don't like this anymore. So I remember when I turned, I think I was around 12, and I just stood there and told my mom and dad, I don't know who told you I wanted to be the oldest or the firstborn. I did not ask for this job. You guys did this. And my dad looked at me because, back in the day, you couldn't talk like that to your parents. You're ready to move out. You must be ready. You must have a job and a car and everything you need to get on your own because you done got to be too grown. That's how it was back then. So my mom and dad, they were stunned. They looked at me like, did she stand up here and tell us this? And I went even further, Mark. I said, you all had these 7 kids. I didn't. And they looked at me like, oh, yeah, it's time for her to go. And I didn't. I was just bold back then. But then I've come to realize that position that God gave me way back then